Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, December 5, 2023. Companies and data controllers are being given an additional 6 months to comply with the full requirements of the Data Protection Act 2020. With the Act now in effect as of December 1, entities, particularly those that process personal information on a daily basis, are required to be registered with the Office of the Information Commissioner, OIC. They are also obligated to appoint a responsible individual, such as a Data Protection Officer, DPO, to oversee the controller's compliance with the Act. Persons or organizations that process personal data without registering with the OIC could face sanctions. The legislation, which was passed in 2020, is poised to transform the way organizations manage personal data, including the collection, storage, utilization, disclosure, and disposal. Minister with responsibility for skills and digital transformation, Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, says the extra time for compliance is in recognition of the struggle being faced by some entities.
We have had consultations with the private sector, and I thank the private sector for their openness and their open dialogue on where the challenges are. And they've indicated that some of their members and some of our private sector leaders are not ready as yet for the full implementation.
Minister Morris-Dixon was speaking recently at a post-cabinet press briefing. She said registration with the Office of the Information Commissioner would be one of the top priorities in the transitioning phase. Meanwhile, Information Commissioner Celia Barclay says her office will be engaging in constructive collaboration with a view to building confidence.
We have taken the approach of, as a first step, being able to identify controllers, being able to identify their data processing activities, and using that information as a foundation based on which we're able to monitor and investigate issues concerning data protection. And so that is an approach that will give us an advantage in terms of implementing the legislation.
The OIC is encouraging persons who have been implementing the necessary compliance measures of the Data Protection Act and are ready to register to begin the process on its official website, oic.gov.jm. Meanwhile, more than 100 data protection officers have received training under the National Data Protection Training Program for schools. The educators received their certification on Friday at an awards ceremony held at the University of Technology, UTech, Jamaica. The curriculum was designed and implemented by UTech's Faculty of Engineering and Computing and facilitated by eLearning Jamaica. The training, which took place over 3 weeks, is in partnership with the Education Ministry. Emphasizing that the education system is one of the largest collectors of personal information, Portfolio Minister Favor Williams says data protection in the sector is critical.
Think about your schools. You collect information on all the children that are there, their name, their address, their parents' name, their age, their immunization record, their grades, all kinds of personal data, right? And it's just stored in a paper file and anybody can access it and so on. We need for it to be protected and for people, for our citizens in Jamaica to begin to think of the valuableness of their personal data.
Representatives of both UTech and eLearning Jamaica say the collaboration shows a clear commitment by all stakeholders to not only infuse education in schools, but also to build technical capacity.
Collaboration such as this training program between academia and industry continues to be a win-win model for Jamaica's development.
Data protection is not merely a legal obligation, it's a moral imperative to safeguard the sensitive data that's entrusted to us within our educational institutions. The responsibility rests with us to ensure that this data is handled with utmost care, respecting the privacy and confidentiality of every individual associated with our schools.
The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development will be spending $375 million between now and March next year to provide more indigent housing solutions across the country. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie made the announcement at the handover ceremony for 2 indigent housing solutions in Manchester recently. They include a studio apartment in Coley Mountain and a 2-bedroom unit in Kendall.
While we are not going to be able to respond to the needs of everybody at the same time, what we have started in 2016 is a far better approach that has reaped success than what previously established before.
Mr. McKenzie says the aim of the program is to give the indigent homeowner an environment that was never had before. He is urging the recipients to ensure that the necessary amenities used, such as electricity, are not attained by illegal means.
We would encourage persons not to thief light, because once we find anybody who occupies any of these units stealing electricity, then we're going to part company. Because if we give you the house at least, you must can make the effort to pay for the light.
Budding entrepreneurs now have access to a wider range of business development services through the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC's renovated and expanded Agro Processing Incubator. The upgraded facility, which opened recently, aims to boost production and export among micro and small agro processors. This expansion increases the working space to 1,000 square feet and provides access to critical equipment for filling, packaging, and production of a variety of products. These include beverages, sauces, condiments, dry mixes, purees, and pastries. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Auburn Hill, says the facility will allow users to develop products and increase their production in an efficient manner.
The initiative is a vital step in our journey at the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, aligning perfectly with our strategic goal to develop and strengthen industry value chains for export.
The incubator is staffed with an agro-industry process supervisor, food technologist, food development specialist, and incubator assistant. The project was funded by the European Union, managed by the Caribbean Development Bank, and implemented by the JBDC. And finally, Jamaica will serve a second term at the International Maritime Organization, IMO Council, from 2024 to 2025 after successfully securing a Category C seat. The elections were held at the 33rd Assembly of the IMO Council in London on December 1. Category C in the Council represents 20 states that have special interest in maritime transport or navigation. Their election to the Council ensures representation from all major geographic regions of the world. Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, Darrell Vaz, who led the delegation to the IMO Assembly, has welcomed the re-election as a significant achievement for Jamaica's maritime development. He says Jamaica is grateful for the trust from its international partners. He assures that the country will honor its commitment to addressing the challenges in the maritime space and contribute to the sustainable development of the global space. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.